Climb blog, and I brought the GOAT of 2020, Teri Ijoema. Now, before I introduce Teri and before we go into the show, listen, if you don't know who I am, I'm Erica Williams, author of the Smartphone Millionaire book, How to Invest in People, Businesses, and Real Estate from the Palm of Your Hand. Catch that on Amazon. For those of you ready to plan the rest of 2020, get this planner. And we got another girly version coming this fall, a gratitude planner. Okay. So, Teri, tell the people from your mansion on the lakes of the water of Minnetonka, how are you doing today, Boo?
I am doing wonderful today. I'm in one of those crazy moods though, where I just moved into a new house. And so everything is not where I think it's going to be. Like I was like, oh, I can't find nothing. I went to go find my mic. Didn't know where that was. Went to find my computer. Didn't know where that was. So
she was just walking around in her robe like, where am I? Live your life, girl. You guys, so if you don't know, this has been a while since I've seen Teri, you guys. She has been held up in Dallas on self-imposed quarantine.
Yes. So. I don't play with the Rona. I'm just saying. Y'all could be out on the boat, send me pictures, splash in the water for me, because I ain't playing with the Rona.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so look, you guys. I know you guys have been asking. So Teri, here's what we need from you.
Okay.
The stock market's crazy. People losing jobs. The economy's doing a shifting. Donald Trump's about to get reelected again. Then they got all this stuff going on. What's going on with the stock market, baby? Help us understand what's going on.
Honestly, during the last few months, we have had one of the best rises in decades in the stock market. So after that fall in March, yes, a lot of people were afraid. Their accounts, especially if they had 401ks, dropped. But then the market's been like flying since then. So a lot of people, especially all of my students in trade and travel, have been making money. Like if you were in during this season, you were actually making money because the market's been just flying. Now the question is, are you a little bit too late? The S&P 500 came back to where it was before the fall. NASDAQ came a little bit higher than where it was. So now we're starting to see some people take profits. And the real movers of the market are the big banks. So Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley. So of course, they've made a lot of money lately. You could even see it in their earnings reports. They've made a lot of money. So now they're starting to take profits. That's when you start seeing some of these big gainers start losing a little speed. But overall, we've been having a great season in the stock market.
So I've noticed just personally, as I've been inside Teri's class, yes, I'm a student of Teri's class, inside her class, just kind of following along, but not being a bad student. I'm barely there. There's been some winners. There's been some 1,000 a day Teri students out of this.
Yes.
Now, someone said already in the chat, they're excited for new orientation tomorrow.
Yes,
there you go.
Welcome.
They'll be there tomorrow. Welcome. You guys can get all Teri's information right here. I have it inside the links.
I was going to say, do you have the link up? Because if y'all want to join,
there.
Make sure to click the link in Erica's bio. Because
link class starts tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So in the chat, what I need for you guys to put, have you been thinking about investing in the stock market? With all the news and all the craziness, if you have, put a yes in the comments, because we just love seeing the interest and people interested in what we're talking about tonight. I'm going to give a few shout outs to Lakeland, Florida, Georgia, Dallas, Texas, New Orleans, Savannah, Fayetteville, North Carolina. What's up, Fayetteville? It's your girl, Erica. All right, Toledo, Ohio, Los Angeles. Thank you, Sienna Herbert, for the $4.99 super chat. Hey, Erica and Teri, love y'all. Thank you. Love you back.
Love you too.
So, someone said, where has Teri been hiding? I don't know, y'all. She is in a compound somewhere in Dallas. I tried to find her.
I'm here. Y'all see the house behind me?
She's in a compound. She's been gone. I don't even know if she's in California or where she at right now. So Kiera K said, I'm with you, girl. Currently in my house chilling.
Chilling, enjoying this peace in the house. I do have my mask close. Even if y'all are on virtual, I'm going to be protected.
Listen, if Teri saw me, she'd put a mask on. I'd be like, hey, Teri. She's like, oh, too close. And just in solidarity, Teri, in my office, I have a pack of masks This is for the staff. I
Why
have one
just
for the boat
staff?
party.
For you too, right?
No,
I'm gonna
this
need
is for
you
the
to
boat
put
party.
one on. Okay, can y'all get everybody on here to tell Erica she needs to wear a mask? This is not a game. She be playing like everybody else can get it but her. Can
Listen,
you know?
covered by the blood of Jesus. Covered.
Yes, but
Done.
Jesus didn't make you stupid. Wear the mask.
All right. So
I'm playing.
I know.
I'm playing, y'all.
Okay, there's a ton of yeses in here. Thank you. All right, you guys. So Teri, what are some highlights you can give us of the past month and a half?
Okay, so
or would you rather start back in April? I mean, you let me know. I'm ready to free flow it.
Well, how about this? Let me first tell y'all who I am because there's a lot of new people here. So my name is Teri Ijoema. I was in education and nonprofits for about 10 years. My last job was working as an assistant principal of an elementary school. But y'all, it was crazy. The kids were crazy. The parents were crazy. My boss was crazy. Everybody was crazy. So that made me crazy and I needed to get out. So I used stocks as an exit strategy. I started trading, and for me, my income wasn't that much as an assistant principal, so all I needed was $300 a day. I said, okay, if I could just trade stocks to make $300 a day, I can replace my income. And to be honest, y'all, that was overshooting it. I really could be good with $200 a day because $200 a day is an extra $1,000 a week, $4,000 a month just from $200 a day, right? So I started trading, started taking lots of classes, and I had learned about stocks back in college. I went to MIT for undergrad, and then I interned at Morgan Stanley. So that's where I really started learning about the stock market. But it had just been a hobby until I really needed an exit strategy. So started practicing, started taking classes, as I said before, and finally hit that place where I was at $300 a day. That's when I could throw the deuces to my principal, be like, I'm out. And I started just traveling all over the world. I lived my best life. I was in Thailand for a month, Vietnam for a month, Australia. I just went all over the place. I came back home for a little bit. I finished up seminary, so I'm a minister as well. I finished up seminary, and then here's the thing with seminary. I always said if I go back to school, I wanted to go for something that I actually wanted to learn, not something fun. So for me, that was the Word of God. Finished up seminary, and then started traveling again. Israel, Italy. Thank you, Erica, for putting on a mask.
I'll just mess with y'all. Go ahead, finish your spiel.
Okay, real quick. But went all over the place traveling, and then people started asking me, well, how are you affording to do this? We know that you were just a principal. You don't got money on top of money. Your mom is single mom. Like there's no nest egg somewhere. How are you doing this? And for me, it was, I'm trading stocks. That's how I was affording my lifestyle. And then I started teaching other people how to do it because they started asking me and bringing me on to go to different coffee shops. And I was like, no, let me teach a class. So taught a class in Thailand, taught a class in Vietnam, and then came home and did one here in the States. And a ton of people came. So that's when I started saying, okay, this is something people need to learn. And I made it into an online course called Trade and Travel. So for those that are talking about the new student orientation, yep, we start a new class on the first of each month. So our next one is starting up this next week, and we'll see you guys in new student orientation starting tomorrow.
So Electric Beauty even said she is awaiting orientation tomorrow as well. You guys, I think teacher Teri has a teacher's voice, very gifting. She has a gift, and it's very easy to learn under her. So yes, some people, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, VA, we see you. London Thomas says, I've been considering starting a personal portfolio. So far, I've been focusing on my retirement account coming back.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, Erica, can I make a statement on that?
Sure. Yeah.
If you're thinking about trading your retirement, this is one of the best times because under the CARES Act, they're letting you take money out of your 401k without that 10% penalty. So if you are considering trading your retirement, there's a couple ways to go about it. One is you can go ahead and keep it in retirement, but just self-manage it. So that means you would take it from your 401k and then move it to like a self-directed IRA. So that you could do a traditional IRA, which means they won't take any taxes out. You'll still have to pay taxes after your gains. Or you can do a Roth IRA, which means, hey, take the taxes out now, and then I'll put it into a retirement. But that's a way that you can start trading and trade your retirement. Or if you might need the money, this would be the time where you could actually take it out of 401k and put it into a regular bank brokerage account. So like my students, we use Tradestation. You can move that 401k over to a regular brokerage and start trading it without that 10% penalty. But Erica, as we continue, I have some ideas on what they can do with that, but I wanted you to keep it invested, but you can self-manage it. This is a good time to do it if you were thinking about that.
Yes, you guys aren't stuck. And that's what I really like. Teri brings like different levels of knowledge that you guys can apply. Because again, she does this. She does this daily.
Yes.
It's a difference. Okay. So again, you guys remember, if you want to support the channel, you can Cash App or you can Cash App. I see somebody has already dropped $20 in super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel.
Did you say you can Cash App or you can Cash
Baby, you can Cash App or super chat. You know, whatever you want to do, we gonna do it. All right. So Annette's Work said, join Teri's class. It is a life changer. A year from now, your life will be different. Thank you, Annette's Work.
Thanks, Annette.
Erica, you better wear that mask. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, or no, sir. We don't do that. We don't do that.
Why
here.
are we not wearing masks? I don't understand.
AM1 said, hi, Teri. You know, the other day, y'all, we had to say a moment of prayer for AM1. Just a moment of silence real quick because he was acting up in the chat. So he's back now.
Oh, I thought he had the Rona or something. You said it like something bad.
No, he just was acting that fool in the chat. That's all. So we had to take him a time out. Time him out. AM1 said, hey, Teri, MIT, she's smart. I love it, y'all.
Yes. AM1.
Passport said, yes, that would be great. I'm retired military and I have a few $1,000s in the bank. I want to invest it, but I don't know where to start. What to invest in would bring me a great return? Well, Teri's class.
Yeah, actually, that is true. I was listening to somebody yesterday. He does ads, which is completely different, but he talked about how he wishes that he had invested in learning how to do ads before he tried to do it himself, because he spent like a year trying to do it himself and lost like $8,000 trying to figure it out by himself. And then he's like, if I had just taken a class, I wouldn't have lost that $8,000. And I feel the same way with investing. The first step is to take a class, because I can tell you the mistakes I made. Like, I've made so many mistakes. In the class, I tell my students about, there was one mistake I made when I was first trading. I lost like $26,000. But now they don't have to do that because I've already done it. So now I can teach them, these are the 5 steps to make sure that you protect yourself from losing. You're putting in stops. You're doing this. You're doing your quantity size. You know, like I can walk them through because I've made the mistake. You don't have to spend years making that mistake. So I completely agree with you. And then if you did want a couple tips. So one thing I've been thinking about, like I'm a technical analysis trader and I trade stocks and options. So for those that are wondering, like, I don't trade Forex, I don't do cryptocurrency, I don't really believe in cryptocurrency, but what I'm teaching in technical analysis, you can apply to different asset classes. So if I'm teaching you how to read a chart, that'll tell you when's the best time to get into a stock and when's the best time to get out of one. So that's how I trade. But if you're thinking about just like on a very top level, how do I get started? First thing is you have to open a brokerage account. I want you to open one with a good broker too. Like some people are like, what about Robinhood? What about E-Trade? I use one called Tradestation just because it's a more robust broker. So that's step one. And then like you can start thinking about looking at, so of course, like I said, I do individual stocks, but the top line is you can look at some ETFs that invest in the whole index. So like the whole Dow or the whole S&P 500. You can invest in those. A couple of those ETFs are like DIA, that's for the whole Dow, or SPY, that's the whole S&P 500, or QQQ. By the way, I hope y'all are taking notes because I'm giving you like game.
So I want to be very clear, y'all. Get your pen and paper out. Drop a 1 in the comments if you're already taking notes, because she just already told you how to work your IRA to the 401ks to the retirement account. I don't know if y'all paying attention, but make sure get the pen and paper out. Well, go ahead, hit it.
Yes, and congratulations, Curtis, who made $800 in the market today. Congratulations. But yes, so if you wanted to invest in all the technology companies as a sector, like a whole industry, then you could do the QQQ. So those are 3 ETFs where you can invest in the whole industry. As I said, I then take that and I narrow it down. Then I go, okay, that's the whole industry. The Dow is the top 30 companies. The S&P is the top 500 companies. Well, now how do I go down to a sector? Then you start saying, okay, well, what if I want to do just technology or just healthcare or just energy? Well, there's ETFs for that too. So technology, if y'all got your pens, I'm telling you all the game right now. So I hope you got your pen out right now. But technology is ETF. It's called XLK. For healthcare, I believe it's XLV. For energy, it's XLE. So check out those ETFs if you want to invest in a whole industry. Then you can go even deeper, and I won't keep going because I know you got lots of questions, Erica, but then you can go even deeper and pick individual stocks in each one of those. So inside of those ETFs, it'll tell you the top holdings. Then you can pick like, okay, of the XLK, I actually really like Salesforce and Adobe. So now I'm going to look at those individual stocks and see if I can make $1,000 a day like Teri's students. But you need to learn from Teri to make $1,000 a day, like my trade and travel students. But
Teri students hold up a plaque, you guys, and they be like, "For the gram,
yes.
For the gram, bam."
It's like our goal this year is to teach 1,000 students to make $1,000 in a day, so that they can make $1 million. So we can actually, as a group, be making $1 million a day. So like it's a $1,000 a day club. Yes, because we're like, if people that look like us are making $1,000 a day, like what kind of impact could they have on our community? So that's what we do.
Trucker Maven, thank you for the $20 super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel and the content. London says the subject of options make my eyes cross. Put state and calls. Oh my.
It's not hard. I can explain that too, Erica. But let's keep going. But I can explain that too if you want me to.
So, real quick, Curtis Davis said Tesla traded in Camp World. Okay. He got his money today.
Congrats.
Kinsley said, please share information about investing in index funds. Thank you. I think we just hit that.
We did.
Donnie Breeze said, I'll be getting Teri's course at some point. Been trading for a while. I need that edge. Donnie Breeze, don't miss out. Hop on in.
I have a lot of advanced investors who've come and traded with me. And then like I have one, and she was teaching her own course. And then she came to my class and she was like, Teri, you totally revolutionized my trading. And so like now she's able to like quit her 9-to-5. She's like, you know, she just got this edge. And I think the biggest thing is she feels like she now has options. Like I can do what I want to do. If I want to stay in this job, I can. If I want to leave, I can. But I'm not afraid. And I think that's the freedom that trading gives.
The best part is you learned a skill someone can't take away from you.
Exactly.
Right? Yep. You can do this wherever, phone, laptop. And what I want people to understand is you want to have skills that let you choose. Do you know how freeing it is when you go to work and you're like, I can leave here. I don't have to be here. I ain't stuck here. I'm not trapped here. I can bounce if I want to. That's a good feeling.
It really is.
Someone asked, Teri, do you think the market could drop back to those March lows again? What should we do to protect ourselves?
So first of all, learn from my class because we actually make money on the way down. And so
true investors.
We know how to actually capitalize on that drop. So I'm actually super excited for when it does drop. I've been waiting. Like the last 4 months for it to drop again. And then to your question of, do I think it can? The answer is yes. And one good example for me for that was Intel. After earnings, Intel dropped $9 last week, and it went down close to its lows from March. And when I saw that one stock can do it, many of the stocks who've run up can also do that same thing. So can it be done? Yes. Will it happen? We're not sure, but I would definitely be protected. And then to your question of how do I protect myself? So one thing that you can think about is something called a stop loss order. It's an order type that you put into your trades. And once again, I hope y'all got your pens. I'm giving all the game right now. But like in our class, one of the things in my strategy, I have a 7-step strategy. One of those is learning when and where to put your stop loss so that if the stock starts falling, it'll hit that order and it'll get you out of the trade. That type of thing will protect you from losing. And if you're one of those longer term traders, you don't have to put it like real close to current price, but at least you know it's there and it'll give you some peace of mind. So like that's one idea of several.
And Terry, you already hit some questions. You got a little ahead of me, but it's okay. Because somebody said, I have 4K in my 401k. Will it be worth trading half of that?
Yeah, I think so. I think actually, so if you have 4K in your 401k, can you guys hear me?
Put your plug back.
Okay. I was trying to charge it up, make sure I didn't lose energy. Can y'all hear me now?
Oh, you sound wonderful. You sound wonderful.
I always like Verizon changed their messaging, but I still remember that. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? So mindful J, if you have 4K in your 401k, I do personally think it's worth trading half of that. And the reason why is because lots of times your 401k doesn't actually give you a very high return. So let's just think about like what you could do with that 401k if you were in my class. So, or with that 4,000. So our goal in the class is to help you make 1% of your cash amount per day. So if you were making 1%, let's say the whole 4,000 for now, but then you can kind of think through your numbers. So 1% of that 4,000 is $40 a day, which sounds small, but now start blowing that out. 4 times 5 is $200 extra a week. So that's an extra $800 a month that you're making on that $4,000, right? Now, all of a sudden you're like, dang, 800 is 20% return on a $4,000 account. 20% is a lot more than your 401k is going to return to you this year. Even if you spread that out and you weren't doing 1% a day, but you were doing 1% every other day, or even, like 10% a month, you're still way beating your 401k. So I personally, but I will have to say, disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a trader. Like that's what I do. So of course my bias is going to be towards trading it. Even if you did do half of the 4,000 and just did 2,000, 20%, 1% of that is $20. That's $100 a week that you could be making, which is going to outperform your actual 401k.
So Ray Bickham said, I lost 5K trying to invest and ran away from it.
Hey, Ray. Yeah, losses are part of the game. I totally understand that. So I'm not even going to say you're never going to lose. But I will say that that's why it's important to start doing some risk management techniques. So that stop loss would have helped you. So maybe if you had a stop where you couldn't go down more than 1,000, how much better would that have been, right? Than losing that whole 5,000. So.
Thoughtful Review said, in fact, I was able to invest all my government surplus stimulus check. I divided the 1,200 into thirds: index funds, a WeFunder real estate investment, and intellectual property. Congratulations.
Nice. Yes. Congratulations. See, that's what I'm talking about. I like people that think like that. Like, how can I take this money that I just received and make it make money for me versus just how can I put it in a savings account, right? That's so important.
Henson said, I'm starting from zero. I blew my 401k when I changed jobs. However, I'm ready to start investing on my own. What are some avenues I can take?
First is you need to start saving up some money. Investing is not the type of thing where you start with zero and then make money on it. So I want you to start saving. I do think in order to open a brokerage account, you have to open it with some money. At Tradestation, you have to open it with $500. So I need you to have at least $500 to open the account, and then you can start trading in a simulator and practicing. This is a skill set that you'll have for a long time. So I want you to practice, get good at it, and then you can start trading with your real money again. And while you're practicing, that's when every paycheck you'll start putting a little bit more into that brokerage account until you get to a little bit more. The goal will be, because everybody asked me, so I know this question is going to come, Teri, how much do I need to really start? I would say try to get to 2,000. At 2,000, that's also when the broker will start letting you use margin. So you'll have a little cushion there to actually make some bigger trades to make bigger returns as well. Margin is risky. Somebody else, I'm sure, is going to put in the chat, Teri, but margin's so risky. It is if you don't have a risk management plan. But if you're doing like my part of my 7 steps and you're putting in that stop loss and you're calculating your quantity size, like we protect ourselves in the risk management plan on the front end. So even if you use a little bit of the bank's money to trade, you're still going to be okay.
McCoy said, are you using technicals to trade options?
Yes. So my whole strategy is based on first how I trade stocks. And I trade stocks with charts. So I'm looking at, like I said, I'm looking at picking good companies, then risk management, then technical analysis. That's part of my strategy. And then I apply that strategy. We call it the Invest with Teri strategy. I apply that strategy to options. So now that I know where to actually buy and sell the stock, now I can determine what strike price I should use for that trade, right? And if I know from a chart how fast that stock is going to move, I can also determine my expiration date. So yes, everything that I'm using on that first part of technical analysis, I also apply to options.
Teri said technical. Someone asked, Teri, what accounting software do you use for day trading? Or how do you handle tax filings?
Yeah, so one, I do need to shout out Atia. So Atia from the Savvy Accountant. So y'all can check her out on Instagram, the Savvy Accountant. She's my accountant, and we did just have to like put man, like taxes are real. People
listen, honey.
Taxes
it's taking them a whole month to do my taxes, girl. They just
right. Right. But the cool thing is on the trading side of it, your broker will actually create the documents that you need to submit for your taxes. So like Tradestation makes those documents and we just submit them as part of my tax filings. And as a trader, they're just submitted as regular income. So you might think that there's something special about it, but no, it'd be the same as if you were working a side job and had to submit that as income, or if you got a bonus at work and had to submit it as income, and then you're just taxed at your income tax rate. So if my income tax rate is 35%, then I'm going to be taxed at 35% on my trading, but it's not some special number that was made up. And if you lost your job, but you were trading and your income is still at that lower 15% rate, well, then that's going to be your tax rate even on your trading income. So I don't want you guys to think that that's different.
Okay. Sounds good. How many, the question everybody loves to ask, Teri, how many hours a week do you trade?
So as you become a better trader, you trade less and less hours. So usually I'm trading like the first couple hours of the trading day, so like that first 2 hours. But when you're starting, I think that it'd be good for you to at least, so here's the disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
Yeah. If you have 4 hours, you might be looking at it from like when the market opens to about 11 a.m. Central Time. At lunchtime, all the traders go to lunch and the volume goes down. So you don't need to keep trying to trade in the afternoon. And the volume comes back up at the last hour of the trading day. So that might be a good hour to like come back and check. But if you're working, you don't have to worry about that either. Some of my students will say, well, I got a full-time job. I have lots of doctors and lawyers in my class. You can set it up at the end of the day. After the trading day, you can look at the charts, set those trades up for the next day, and then go about your day. Especially if you're doing the risk management steps, like putting in a stop loss. Yes, we can put in bracket orders where it'll get you out at your target or get you out if the stock goes down. And then we call that a set it and forget it trade because you don't have to worry about it. It just works.
You at home sweating like, oh, Lord, I forgot about it. I woke up late. Help me.
But you've seen that, Erica, in the group. So many students are like, so I forgot about this trade. And then it just went and I made $800. It was just sitting in the system. It's like, okay. So it's kind of cool.
Someone said they made $9,000 on gold. Okay. All right.
Okay. Get it. Okay. Gold just hit all-time new highs.
Listen, I have my shillings in a bucket. And, when I moved, I was like, where my bucket at? I need all my shillings. Because I don't know if y'all know this, but I like give my nephew silver coins and dollar, like gold little pieces. And they be looking at me like, what is this? I'm like, it's money. Keep it.
It's money. It's true. It just went up in value.
That's right. A word to the wise, use Teri's 7-step strategy every trade. Word to the wise, actually get in class and pay attention. right? So I be in there sometimes like, okay, I'll be back, and then I done missed a whole thing. I done missed it. Um,
Erica be like, so Teri, I was in class, but I'm gonna have to take class again.
so I would just give you 25,000, and you just make it do something, okay? So Ray Bickham said, "What level do I need to be to take Larry's course? I went to Ratchet College, not MIT. Stop it.
Love it.
Stop it."
Actually, I have a lot of novice investors, a lot of novices that come into the course and they've never heard anything. And I actually love my novice investors because they don't come with any preconceived notions about what they should be doing or some random big word that they're trying to apply to what I'm teaching them. You just start with what I'm teaching and then go from there. And those are some of my best traders now. So you're okay. If you don't have any knowledge or you're coming in just from the basics, you're good. And I also love so I did some soul searching, Erica, of like who I like to teach. I know.
Listen, take
yes.
a moment of silence and good. Go ahead.
All right. So we're silly, y'all. I hope y'all know.
Listen, y'all, this is all about just and then you just woosah. Go ahead.
Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay. During my soul searching, I realized that I really also I like working with my novices, but I also like working with people who've lost money because I feel like, and this is going to be a really random illustration, but so one of my friends said if she was to date somebody, she wants to date like a divorcee that doesn't have any kids. I know, random, right? But the reason why, Erica, your face. But the reason why is she said because they already have been through it. They know that marriage is tough, but they've already been seasoned and know kind of what to expect, but they're ready. They come in knowing that they could do better. And so I know that's a random illustration, but the reason why I said it is because I really enjoy working with people who had losses before because they know that the stock market is good. They know that it can work, but at the same time, they also know that they need to do something different. So they come in really ready to learn, really ready to just have a new strategy so they can take their trading to the next level. So if you're in either of those boats, you've been trading for a while but just want to be better, or you're a novice, I think this could be helpful.
Okay. So someone said, Stephen Morton, I started trading stocks and options in March 2000. Trading has given me a safety net that I need when times become uncertain.
Thank you. Stephen. Yes.
Someone said, first, this is just shout out. Nicole Pritchard said, she explains everything. You don't need a level of education. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you, Nicole.
Mindful J said, is being a full-time trader stressful? I mean, because when I have to get up and go to my job, it's stressful. Is being a full-time trader stressful?
So to be completely honest, I think it's about how you approach your trading. If you're sitting right in front of the computer and watching the numbers all day, that's when you get stressed. But most of the time, you don't need to do that. Make your trade, walk away, go do something else, live your life, have a play day, go to the movies. I mean, if you could, Rona, you can't. But I'm just saying, one day we'll be able to. But if you take the trade, you have confidence in the strategy, you know what you did, then you walk away, do something else, come back, it's not stressful. It's stressful when you're sitting there watching it all the time. So that's when you really need to do some trader psychology because it is emotional. It's something that you got to learn.
Speaking of that, great book. I keep recommending it. I think y'all think I'm silly, but Throw Your Stuff from the Plane. Achieving Accountability in Business and Life. I've recommended this book before, but I want y'all to understand whether it's stocks, whether it's businesses, whether it's anything, you bring you wherever you go. So if you throw your crap from the plane, you can kind of adjust what you got going on. Okay?
Oh, that's cool.
Just a little tidbit. Ray, thank you. And it's worth. There is Anita's Pat Brown. Atia, excuse me. So then we have Ray Bickham she said stop loss, and I was like, what?
That's why you need the class. Yeah, you need the class. It's an order type, and it's so helpful. That blew my mind too. When I had been investing for 6 years before I started taking classes, which is why I know that you really need to take a class earlier on, so you're not wasting 6 years of your life and losing money. But I was investing for so long before I even found out that there was ways to protect myself from losing. Had I known that, I would have saved so much money in the past. So it's really about like taking a class. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, I'd like to thank Ray Bickham for the $20 cash app. He said, love your channel. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's sweet.
Shillings. I London said, do you use trailing orders?
I do. So they're called trailing stops. And for those that don't know what a trailing stop is, what it does is think of that stop I told you about. So it protects you from losing. If the stock comes down, the stop will take you out of the trade. But if the stock goes up, it'll trail the stock price so that you lock in more of your gains. So that's what a trailing stop is. Yes, I like trailing stops, but you can't put it in too soon, because what will inevitably happen if you put in a trailing stop too soon is the stock will come down, hit your stop, and then knock you out, and it'll go back up. And you're like, dang, I'm out of the trade. So I put in trailing stops closer to my goal. So if my target is, hey, I want to make $300 on this trade, and it goes up to 300, then I may change out my stops and put in a trailing stop so it can keep going up, or I can get out and lock in my gain.
Got you. Ray said, Erica, for real, I wish all the student loan money I spent on MBA, I wish I could have just taken courses that actually showed me how to really make money. Yeah.
True.
Thank you. You said they purchased the ebook. Thank you. Awesome. Depending on the platform, is there a minimum you need to start training?
Yes, there is. So on Tradestation, it's $500 to open the account. On E-Trade, I don't know. So each platform is a little different. Robinhood, I feel like you can start. You might know this, Erica. You can open that without any money. Is that right? Or how much do they need to start?
E-Trade, man, I can put $5 in that bad boy. Well, the trade. Okay, so E-Trade switched it up because Robinhood was pressuring everybody. So now E-Trade, you don't have to pay like $10. You know what I mean? To trade anymore. So it's pretty useful, because right now it's free. I feel like they're gonna bring it back though. I feel like they playing, y'all. They ain't gonna keep this free forever. And so right now, I have one of my students started an account the other day with, I think, $50, and he was trading. Yeah, because you don't have the $10 fee anymore. So
right. Well, yeah. And on the one we use on Tradestation, there's no commissions for my students either, but you do have to put money in to open the account. I think some of the more robust brokers like TD Ameritrade as well, you have to start with a certain amount. So let me just go for what I know. On Tradestation, you have to start with at least $500. Yeah. So
everybody, let's make note of that. Tradestation, you have to start with $500.
Yeah. And let me real quick tell y'all why I like that one, because somebody, I'm sure, is like, well, why not Robinhood? One, Robinhood and some of the brokers that are not as robust, they froze when the market was really volatile. So I want a broker that's a bit more stable, a bit more robust, right? Then another thing is Tradestation is made for traders. So it has faster entry times. So like if I take a trade and somebody else takes a trade in Fidelity, I'm going to get a better price on my stock price because the entry time is faster. Also, they have bigger margins. So if we put in $2,000, we get to trade with 4 times that amount, which is $8,000. Yes.
What?
That's how we're able to make our 1% on a consistent basis. Yep. So we're able to trade with 4 times our cash amount in Tradestation versus I know when I was with like Fidelity, you only could do, or not Fidelity, Merrill Edge, you only could do 2 times your cash amount. So every broker is a little different. So that's why I'm like, I like them. They do good stuff. And then for our school, they give like really great breaks for my students. Like they do no data, no commission. So it's just been a really cool. Oh, and we have better order types. If I'm putting in I can put in 2 exits at a time. I can put in my stop and a target limit order, but then somebody on E-Trade and Robinhood, they can't do that. They can only do 1 exit at a time. So it's just I know, right? It's one of those things where like I'm going to have an advantage when I trade just simply because I have better tools. And there's a lot of times where we walk into situations and we don't realize that we're at a disadvantage already from the jump because we don't have the right tools in place. Billy, Bob, and Joe, they're using different tools. So that's why I want to make sure you guys know about like better brokers so you have the right tools.
I love when you just said Billy Bob. Billy Bob don't know.
Maybe he don't, but I'm just saying. I assume he know.
Yeah, so of course some people are asking what makes trade and travel different from other people's courses, and really you got Teri. That's what you got. But go ahead, Teri. You explain. You explain.
I think so. A couple of things that my students have said. Of course, like she said, I'm a teacher, and I think at the very crux of all of it, that's one thing that's really different. A lot of trading companies, they may teach you the same thing, but you won't understand it because you don't have a good teacher. And so at the big crux of it, a lot of my people praise me because I'm a good teacher. I make things simple. And then another thing is I have a solid trading plan. A lot of companies will teach you one part of something. So they'll teach you, okay, this is how you get into a trade, or this is what an option is, but they don't have like a complete plan. Okay, in my thing, it's 7 steps. This is how you're actually going to enter the trade. This is how you're going to protect yourself with that risk management piece. This is how you're going to know what price, and this is how you're going to exit. So there's 7 steps to my strategy. It's a full trading plan. I think that's important. A lot of traders miss that in their different courses. They don't come out with a plan. And that's where you get your consistency, when you have a consistent plan. So my 7-step Invest with Teri process is that. And then the fact that we go into both stocks and options, and we teach you how to make money on the way down. A lot of courses don't teach you that. So they don't teach you about shorting and gaps and Globex and those other just really additional tools in your toolkit to make you have an edge. So that's what I think is different about my course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So someone asked, are there fees for your brokerage that you're in the Tradestation? What are the fees? Do you have any
No, they don't have any fees. So actually, let me clarify. If you're in the United States, you don't have any fees, no commission fees, and no data fees. They waive that, unless you want to do some things like trading indexes. So if you want to do options index trading, I think they do have a small fee for that. But for most of the stuff that we're doing, it's going to be free after you open it with that $500 initial just account balance. It's your money. It's in your account. Nothing happens with it. So no, there's no fees. I will say though, we recently found out that some of our overseas students, so I have students all over the world, Canada, Europe, some of them were having fees. So the workaround is TradingView is partners with Tradestation. So if you start practicing on TradingView, you can hook up your account. And if you're overseas right now, you can place the trade in TradingView and not have commissions.
Sure. So everybody, there's 200 people in the chat. If this has been beneficial to you, make sure you hit the 1. Drop me a 1 in the comments. I just want to make sure it's helping you. We're answering your questions, and we're giving good value, because I know from doing years of YouTube, if you're getting answers, if you're getting help, you're going to share this video with others. So drop a 1 in the comments. And Mr. McCoy agreed with what you said, Teri. He's been using Scottrade and TM Ameritrade for almost 15 years. But I was playing on Robinhood, and I got stuck in the trade when the whole app and brokerage crashed. Woo.
See, that is one of my biggest fears. Everything in trading is about timing. So if the whole market is falling and you can't get out of a trade, I just can't even imagine being stuck like that.
I cannot.
No, that's almost like me walking around without a mask. I just can't even imagine.
Everybody, let's take a moment of silence for Teri. She can't walk around without a mask, y'all. Hold on.
I cracked myself.
And then I lifted her up to the Lord. All right. So he said Tradestation doesn't have an account amount minimum to access margins.
It does.
It does.
It does. Okay. To do margin, you have to have 2,000 in the account, but you can still trade without getting to 2,000 or without having margin. So I have several students that will start with that 500, and then they'll start trading, but you just can't trade as much because you only have 500 in there. But you're still learning. At 2,000, that's when you start being able to use margin. So good question, London.
So also E-Trade is only going to give you half. See, Teri's at Tradestation, but they'll give you 4 times. E-Trade gives you half. Yes. But I ride with them. They've been with me for a road dog. They've been together for a long time. Cool matter. With them. Yeah. What was the real turning point for your trading? If you could start all over, would you do different?
Yeah. So
Okay, Mindful J. Hold on, pause. Mindful J out here trying to pull all the internal, like, share with us your journey. Thank you, Mindful J. But go ahead.
Okay, so a couple things I think were my turning points. One was a big turning point for me to go full time with trading was one of my friends had passed away, and he was my age, and he passed away from strep throat. And nobody's supposed to pass away from strep throat. The people gave him a shot that he was allergic to, and his lungs collapsed, and he passed away. And to be completely honest with you guys, I feel like that same feeling is happening to a lot of people who have had family getting sick lately and pass away from coronavirus, because it just all of a sudden out of the blue is happening, and you feel so hopeless, and you just realize how short life is. And so that's what happened to me. Like, I was in this job that I hated, and then I realized that life was so short, because we were like 31 at the time. He had just had like a 1-year-old baby, gotten married recently. Like, it just was, I couldn't believe that the world was going to go around and he wasn't going to be there. And so that's when I decided, like, I've got to leave this toxic work environment, because this is not worth it. I'm not going to die, and they're not going to, like, they're not even going to care. If something were to happen to me, they would just hire somebody else and keep it moving. So that was my turning point to say, I've got to make this a thing. Like, I've got to take this more seriously. I've got to start making enough money out of trading. And that's when I started trading every day and practicing every day. Another big turning point for me was when I had a big loss. So I was in Thailand. So I told you guys I was traveling from place to place every month. So like, I was in South Korea for a month, Thailand. But my biggest loss, or my first big loss, was in Thailand, and I had lost $26,000. And I know, right, girl. And this is back, like, I'm a millionaire now, but back in the day, like, 26,000 was like all I had.
Wait. What was the number again?
26,000.
Well, I'd have been in Thailand. They'd be like, give her mouth to mouth. What's happening? All right, I'm done.
Golly, but yes, like, that was, and I talk to my students about this. Like, we have a whole class where I tell them about this loss, and then what I did wrong, and then what I should have done differently. So then we talk about the solutions, right? But that was a huge turning point for me, because I was gonna quit trading. Like, I remember, like, it was a beautiful day. Like, they had that lantern toss thing, and everybody was putting the lanterns into the air. And I had made this beautiful wish on how I wanted to be, like, a really great trader.
And then your eyes are like,
And then I went, because the time difference, it was like really late at night when the stock market in the US opened. So I found a corner on a street. I was outside. The big festival's going on. I'm outside, sitting on this bench by myself. I look at my phone, and what the heck just happened? Like, I'm just, oh my gosh. Like I started crying. I called my mom, and this is long distance, y'all. So I'm like calling from Thailand to the US, and this is a real call, because I'm like, I got to talk to somebody about this. So I'm just bawling, and I'm like, I'm going to quit. I don't know how to do this. This sucks. And the thing she told me, though, she said, can you still hear me?
Yeah, girl, we hear you.
The thing she told me was, well, how are you going to get your money back if you quit now? And so that was a huge turning point for me, because I decided, okay, well, let me just try. And I didn't get it back right away. I went back in the market, though, and at least I did a reversal on some of the stocks. So but to tell you the truth, I'm not even going to pretend like this ended well. It didn't. Like, I got out of some of it, so it could have been an even bigger loss. But at the end of the day, I still lost that $26,000. And I also had panicked, so I didn't know what to do. So instead of it being like, it could have been less, but because I panicked, it just kept getting bigger and bigger. So yes, so having that moment of losing what I felt like was everything, I think was also a turning point, because then it allowed me to get better. And I think anybody who has a big loss, if you've taken a loss in trading and then you decide, like, you have to make a mental conscious decision to try again, you come back, and you come back stronger because you learned from it. And so that was huge for me.
Listen, y'all, you win, you learn in the losses. And Teri's mom, the kind of person you want to have at the crapjack table at the casino. How you gonna get your money back, girl? Go ahead, go throw it again, girl.
Which,
crime trade.
and that is not her character at all. My mom
Right.
is usually the one that's super cautious. She was like the one that told me not to quit my job because I wouldn't have insurance. Like, she didn't care about my feelings or nothing. She was like, you better stay at that job because you need insurance. I'm like, really? So I'm going to die to need the insurance to stay at this job because I'm going to have a heart attack at this job. But that's all right. But no, she was the one who said, hey, I think you need to keep going. And I mean, like 2,100 students later, had I quit, none of this would have been possible.
You wouldn't have helped all these people, girl. Listen, some days I'd be like, bump this YouTube. Then somebody sends me a long paragraph like, thank you so much. I'd be like,
but God, that's that piece. Right.
Someone said, I think Teri's experience in education would make her a better instructor. It does. Someone asked, do you trade 3X ETFs? Why or why not?
There's one that I trade that's a 3X. So what that means, guys, is there's some ETFs that move a little faster than everything else. So one that I trade is called SOXL. It's a semiconductor ETF, but that means it has pretty big moves. Like when the semiconductors move a little bit, it moves a lot. Yeah, I make money on it. So that's why I trade it, but I'm not particular to it. I just came across it, really liked it. I am able to read the charts on it really well. So that's one that I do trade.
This person, I don't know how to say their name, did the class in April. Teri made it easy to understand.
Thank you, Wanjiro.
We had Annette Swerve said, another thing that is different about Teri's class, her private Facebook community. You get so much support and answers to your questions while learning.
Thanks, Annette. You're so right. Like I hear so many people talk about how encouraging that group is because they're like they're putting in their wins. So they're putting in how they, like if they hit the $1,000 in a day mark, or even if they hit like their first trade and it's $30 in a day, and we all celebrate together. We call each other trading cousins. But then what's also cool about the group is that people, all of us, so if you have, just imagine if you have 2,000 people who all learn to trade in the same way. So it's not some random group where like one person is trading, Forex and one person is trading something else crazy. No, like everybody's trading the same way that I taught them. So now you have 2,000 people looking for opportunities in the market and able to share out. Hey, did y'all check out this? This is hitting a gap. This is doing this. This one over here is about to hit a buyer's level. So we have a lot of people making money just by sheer fact that we have such a nice community now. And we all treat each other like family. So when one of us wins, all of us win. So that is a great, thank you, Annette. That's a great addition to the course.
Someone said, I just got in. Is your course self-paced, or is there specific times in which to study?
It's self-paced. It's an online course, so all of it is recorded. But I do, once a month, I start going in and coaching. So once a week, we have coaching calls, and I try to guide all the new students through the course. So if you're in trade and travel, it's 4 classes. So we try to do that over 4 weeks of the month. So each week, I'll come in and kind of hit on one of the points. And then we also have for VIP, they have 2 coaching calls a week that they can attend. One is a mastermind call that I do during the market. And then one is on Thursdays, which is like a smaller boot camp where the VIPs get to ask me questions. Now, I will say trade and travel, right now I'm doing coaching every week, but technically that's not part of your, what you're buying, because you're buying the curriculum and Q&As. So for the VIPs, if you want more hands-on access to me, that's where you should be. The VIPs get more access to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Of course, Tammy's over here encouraging the foolishness.
Exactly. Wearing a mask is not foolish. Wearing a mask is the smartest,
I need oxygen.
Most intelligent.
The CDC said if you feel overheated or dizzy with your cloth mask, take your mask off, get 6 feet away from people, and take a deep breath. That's what it said.
They also said stay at home, which you could also do too.
CDC
You could stay at home. How about that?
No, thank you. Peter T said, what are your thoughts about dividends? I'm an American patriot. I go out of my house.
Moment of silence.
Focus on Peter Till's question. What's your thoughts on dividends?
I think they're great, but I don't trade them. So I don't know a whole bunch about them. I'm more of we're going to trade a stock. We're going to buy it at this point, sell at this point, and make our cash so that we're able to then use it for bills or use it for trips or use it for whatever else you need to. Like I paid off all my debt with trading. I paid off my student loans with trading. I just bought a house with trading. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff I want to use the money for.
Come wait tomorrow, bruh. You say you lost 26,000.
That was a while
26,000 hurts. Everybody talking about that's nothing to me. That's a lie. 26,000 hurts anybody. Okay.
It does.
2,000 hurts. You be like, I could have bought things.
Right. I have a student and he was so distraught. And I was thinking he lost a whole bunch of money. He was like, Teri, I lost $10. I said, well, for every person, different amounts are important. So you should value every dollar. Now I've gotten to the point where I've made $200,000 in a day. So it does feel a little different, but every loss is important.
Teri's in. Got Arab money. Teri. We almost lost you. Get it plugged in. Come back, Teri. Come back to us.
I'm here.
So Ruben said, I study astrology, and many people's Saturn returns, life-changing events, happen between the ages of 27 and 31. You are fulfilling destiny. Ooh, Ruben. Yes, honey. How did I get to Texas? In that age range. Okay.
Yeah, I had a big year, my 30 year. No, Jesus year is 33, isn't it? But I had a big year when I was 30 and then a big year when I was 33. And then I became a millionaire when I was 35.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we got some more. I'm sorry. Okay. The greatest truth teller about losses. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your loss, Teri. I love it. People are loving that. How you gonna get your money back if you quit?
Yes. But I will say it's important for you to actually learn from your losses. So take some time, journal everything that happened during that loss. So if it's something like, I was actually busy that day and I took a trade just, not really looking at it. Make note of that. Or I was having FOMO. It was going up so much and I didn't want to miss out. So I took the trade. Make note of that because that's also a big mistake new traders make. Or maybe it's something like, you know what? I hadn't really been paying attention to the news on that stock and I decided to get in, but I didn't realize that they had bad news coming out. So sometimes make a note of that. So those kind of things, just make sure that you're keeping track in a journal as well so that you can improve and do better things next time.
Y'all got some deep questions in here. Ella Sullivan said, best instructor ever.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't even know what some of the feelings about a credit iron butterfly when a volatile stock market has earnings coming up.
So first of all, let me just talk about earnings or options in general with earnings. And here, let me put the mic back in so y'all can hear me clearly on this. Okay, hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here are 3 reasons, and I was doing this video today, but maybe it was meant for you guys. So 3 reasons why you should not trade options around earnings. First of all, what is an option? An option is a contract where you're going to buy 100 shares of a stock at a certain price at a certain date in the future. It's very similar to if you were going to go buy a house and you have to put in a contract. You say, hey, I want to purchase the house for this price and I want to have this closing date. Well, that's exactly the same thing that you're doing with an options contract. You're going to put in what price you're buying these 100 shares, and that's going to be your strike price. That's called a strike price. And then you're going to say what date, your closing date. That's going to be your expiration date. So that's what an options contract is. It's a contract to buy or sell 100 shares of a stock. Okay? Here's the thing. In order to control that contract, you have to pay a premium. So it's very similar to if you were buying that house and you were a wholesaler. Mm-hmm. You got that contract and then you go sell it to somebody else, sell it to an investor for a premium. That's what we do when we're buying an options contract. We pay a premium to control that contract. Here's the 3 reasons why you should not do options around earnings. That premium is going to be inflated right before earnings. The premium is made out of time value and volatility. when earnings are coming, that volatility is going to be really high. So it's going to spike up all those earnings or all those premium prices. So that's one reason why you don't want to buy an option before earnings, is because it's just expensive. So like an example of that is Tesla. Tesla stock last week, Tesla in general is a volatile stock, so their options price on a regular basis might be like $71. Right before earnings, it was $95. So that means that you won't break even unless the stock price moves $95 in your favor. After earnings, it came up $60. Great move, but you still lost all your money because the option, you had to have it move $95. It was expensive. So I hope that makes sense, but one of the reasons not to trade options before earnings is they're expensive. Another one is there's a big difference between the spread in options. And Tammy, I hope you're understanding that I'm answering your question, but in segments. In options, there's a bid and an ask price. So there's buyers and sellers. Basically, let's just talk about E-Trade. Last week before E-Trade's earnings, if to buy the contract was $3, but you could only sell it for 30 cents. Just think in any kind of business, if you buy something for $3 but only can sell it for 30 cents, you've lost $2.70 from the jump, just because those spreads between the buy and ask are so wide. Before earnings, those spreads are going to be really wide. It's going to be really hard for you to get your money back. So be careful to buy any kind of spreads right before earnings, okay? And then the last thing is earnings are unpredictable in general. So if you are trading an option, it's so quick to lose your money when earnings are happening and you don't even know what's going to happen. So like Microsoft, great earnings, but the stock still fell, right? So they're just so unpredictable. I don't encourage doing any kind of options before earnings, really. And then to your question, I mainly do iron condors where I'm selling on both sides. I don't do iron butterflies as often. But if you are selling an option, that's a little better for you than buying an option before earnings. But I still just think options before earnings are really difficult because they're so expensive and those spreads are so wide.
All right, you guys, take all that knowledge. Like, I know y'all been on YouTube. Like, this YouTube person over here told me, Teri just broke it down 3 steps. Come on, soak it up. If that was that helpful for y'all, drop a 1 in the comments. Come on now. You know, Teri just gave you a whole breakdown. Now, Teri, President. Teri, did your phone die? Oh my goodness. Did we lose Teri?
They're calling me right now.
Tell them stop being rude. Okay, stop it. Teri, President Trump said today we will have a V-shaped economic recovery because the vaccine's on its final stage. Any thoughts on the economy post-COVID-19? What about election time?
Oh my gosh. Like, first of all, can you guys see me?
No, we cannot see you. Please put your camera back on.
Okay.
Click your buttons.
Okay, hold on.
Come back to us, Teri.
Hopefully y'all can see me.
We cannot.
Nope. Oh, man. Okay.
What you do? Put...
These people be calling. I'm trying to fix it.
Tell that man, hold on, honey. We gonna talk to you later. We gonna talk to you, sir. Come on now.
But let me just say, I don't believe nothing President Trump says. So first of all, this question for me is the premise is all wrong with the first 2 questions or words. President Trump just took the whole question out the box for me. So
so clearly I'm gonna have an election party at Teri's house where we blow up balloons. It's gonna be a wonderful November.
Whatever. So first of all, okay, to that, I don't believe anything he says. However, I do think that he tries to inflate the stock market. So what he might be doing is trying to prop up the stock market, and I'll figure out the camera in a second, but just hear me as I say this. Any thoughts on the economy after COVID-19? I think that we will do pretty well. And then after election, to tell you the truth, I don't know, because right now we're spending a lot of money that we don't have. So this whole come up with $2 and $3 trillion stimulus package when we were already in debt, at some point we're gonna have to answer for that. So I don't know how the next president, even if it is Trump, is gonna deal with the fact that we have so much debt on our books. So To tell you the truth, I'm like everybody else. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just going to trade whatever I see in front of me and be ready. Be ready to make money on the way down and be ready to make money on the way up.
So someone says, I'm trying to quit nursing. I'm serious about learning, so it's important that I still have access to the class long after I finish. That's why she joined it. But yeah, trust me, watch the previous video or a couple videos ago where I interviewed Annette Worth, who retired from nursing. Mm-hmm. Somebody in here talking about wear a mask. If y'all don't get out of my comment section talking about wear a mask, you ready to go on somewhere? Teri, fix your camera.
I'm working on it, but you also need to wear a mask. I'm just saying.
Somebody said, catch me outside. You see, because Teri kept talking about the mask, Skynet took her out. I'm an essential worker. If I can go to work every day, I can go to the boat party if I could get off work. Thank y'all for posting Teri's classes up in here. Uh-oh, she'll be right back. Tom, Teri's got that oil money. We're going to wait on Teri to come back. You back. Harry, there we go.
I'm back. Yay.
Yes, you
are. Every now and
somebody
then,
said,
MIT degree comes in handy.
Somebody said they sold Netflix at $95. DeAndre Brown asked, oh, we're going an hour and 5 minutes? Okay, I can't be having Teri on here all night. Hold on, let me wrap some of this up. Did you start under the PDT rule? If so, what is the amount you started trading with?
No, I didn't start with the PDT rule because I don't know what that is. Explain to me what the PDT rule is. I think sometimes we use a lot of analogies, and don't nobody know what we're talking about.
It's talking about the pattern day trader rule.
Oh, that. Okay, great. Yes, I do know what that is.
I was like, she's playing with me. She know what PDT means. I'm sitting here like, Teri, quit playing with me.
Okay, so here's the thing. So what's the pattern day trader rule? So what it's saying is that over a course of 5 trading days, you can't make more than 3 day trades. So that means that you buy a stock and you sell a stock within 24 hours, within that one trading day, right? So you buy a stock and you sell it, and it's not so much 24 hours, it's the actual trading day, okay? That's called a day trade. But you don't have to, you don't actually have to day trade when you're doing my strategy. A lot of times you're doing a swing trade because you're going to actually look at a chart and you're going to see where the banks are buying and where the banks are selling. You're going to get into the stock where the banks are buying, and then you're going to wait for the stock to go up to where the banks are selling. Oftentimes that does not happen in a day. Sometimes it does, but more often than not, it's not going to be 3 times within 5 business days. Okay? So that's the way that we kind of work around it. If you buy a stock one day and then sell it the next, that's still considered a swing trade. So you don't have to worry about that pattern day trader rule. And then for Felicia, when it says, when does the class start again? How can I start? So there's a link in the bio. I know Erica has a link. And then we start the class. It's the first week of August, but we actually have a new student orientation tomorrow. So if you get in now, you can catch us even on the new student orientation.
Well, first, before you answer this question, London says, why didn't I know Teri when she was in Chicago? Tammy is still tripping, talking about amen for discernment. Tammy, moment of silence for Tammy, okay? Trump cut Teri's camera off. Trump did cut her camera.
Maybe so. That's what happened. Yes, that's what happened.
Everybody, you have lifetime access to the course.
Yep.
Okay. Answer this one and then we'll go. There's like a couple more. So
yep. So I like selling. So first, okay, so selling naked calls. Let me first explain it a little bit and then I'll say what I think about it. So selling a naked call is just basically you are able to sell a put or sell a call, and you get to keep all the premium. So you know how I said that to control a contract, you have to pay a premium? Well, if you're selling, someone pays you the premium to sell them the stock at a certain price or to buy the stock at a certain price. And I actually really love that, especially love selling puts, because that means that I'm saying I'm going to buy the stock at this price and you're going to pay me to buy the stock. I would have bought it anyway, but why not get some money to buy it, right? So that's called selling a naked put. The only thing about that is there's a lot of risk. And I actually did encounter a stock recently where I had like an unlimited risk on that stock because I was selling a call and it just kept going up. So you just have to be really careful because there's a lot of risk in selling naked calls and puts. So if you're going to do it, just make sure that you have some stops in place and that you also have some kind of risk management plan to protect yourself because they can be really detrimental to your account.
Okay.
And again, I still don't, with selling around earnings, I still want you to be careful though, because you just never know what direction things will happen after earnings. And then I see Sears question too. I was wondering, Teri, do you diversify your portfolio with tangible assets? Yeah, so I have a rental property, which is actually now paying for all my bills. So love that. That's basically it. I've been in real estate for 10 years, about the same amount of time that I've been investing for 10 years. So I'm actually a managing broker here in Texas, and I was able to get paid to buy my house recently. So I love real estate as well and stocks.
Let's just have a moment. Teri is Nigerian. She just got paid to buy her
to buy her house. Yes.
You and Money Madu crack me up. Anyway, so what was I gonna say? No, okay. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you. I'm learning so much. Bless both you ladies. I'm gonna pray for Tammy again. Those puts have a bit of a premium, so that's wise, Teri. But Erica not wearing a mask is not. Tammy almost got timed out from the channel, but we'll give her a break today.
I love you, Tammy. Yes.
Okay. FYI, thank you, London Thomas. Thank you.
That's
Any
awesome,
cheap stocks
London.
we should invest in? I don't like the word cheap stocks, but go ahead.
I don't like penny stocks, guys, so I don't really like investing in anything under $10. I will say, though, to me, cheap is when a stock loses a lot of value, but it's still a really great company. So to me, I'm thinking about like Intel right now because it lost $9 in value last week, but it's still a decent company. So that to me would be my definition of cheap. And so there's one that I just threw out there. But disclaimer, I'm not telling you what to do. This is what I'm doing.
So, every day we come and give value on this channel. And I just want to thank everybody who's here, who's watching, who's asking Teri thoughtful questions. I laugh because I just see a lot on the internet that's just silly season entertainment. And you guys, there's 240 people and there's been over 400 people in and out of this live stream. So I just want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you for those who are watching, educating yourself. Right now, every day, and just being honest, there's people living in Domain, downtown Austin that are trading stocks, and that's all they do. And they live a great life. So that's my 2 cents on that. Anyway.
Yeah. Press like and press share if you are liking this video because more people do need to know that there's people that are trading stocks full time and that you don't always have to buy and hold. You can use trading to build income. And there's people actually here really out here doing it and trying to teach for real, not just, sell you on some course or some, go out there and recruit some people. No, like I really want you to be good at this.
This is how she lives her daily life. She trades in real life. And so I just want to bring that up.
Yeah.
Thumbs up for listen, Tammy cutting up in there. Art of Becoming said, I thank you for giving great content. Erica, please talk to us about that being paid to buy houses. That's Teri. That's all Teri. That's gonna be her other course she give out. Kenny said, thank you. We definitely appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you all for being here.
Kenny.
Listen, you guys know in the fall I am going on sabbatical. I'm going up out of this country and going to go enjoy myself. So, I just want to bring on the goodies, bring on the goats before I go on vacation. Teri, I don't know if I might see her 2021. She's not allowing me near her because of COVID. So,
Yes. First of all, if she did decide to wear a mask, then I would love to be around her. However, since she decides to grace these streets without a mask or any kind of protection,
I'm building my immunity.
But I'm not. So I'm gonna need her to stay away from me. So
see, that's why they're gonna bring the blankets to you. They're gonna bring the blankets covered in COVID to your house. You gotta get brace yourself.
Oh, but someone did ask what's covered in new student orientation. So we go over. So tomorrow we're starting our new August cohort. It's really starts first week of August. So you got, don't worry if you can't make it tomorrow, but we're just doing a new student orientation. We'll record it for those that are getting in, but I would say try to get in so you can be there live. But we're just going to go over the course. I'm going to make sure you know what's happening the next 4 weeks, that you have a little bit of a plan in place. So that's what we're doing. And we'll go over I'll show you inside. I just walk you through everything. So it's going to be fun. It's definitely fun. We have so many students now, which is the coolest. They've like started their own communities.
The
like
energy.
Erica, yes. And
the
Erica,
energy.
did you even know? Like I have like cell groups now. Like people are like, hey, I'm in the Facebook group. There's about 10 of us, and we decided that we would get together and be a study group, and now we study together every week. And so they're like, it's really building community. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, I really love that because in the Rise of 20%, there's like, okay, so we're going to talk about trucking in our little trucking group. And I'm like, okay. And then we're going to talk about this over there. I'm like, that's what it's for. It's for you guys to connect with each other and build that up. So someone asked, is there a payment plan? There is. You can go on Teri's page for that. Q4 said he's ready to shave his head and join the Teri Shalom Temple. I want to be a full-time trader.
Okay.
And so
you can keep your hair though, but yes,
please keep your hair. So someone had asked, when you have your employer's stock, can you also buy it privately, or is that a conflict?
Well, I think that's up to every different company. So if your company is okay with you personally buying more of their share, I don't think they'd be opposed to you doing that, but it really depends on your company. Some companies will say, hey, buy it through us and through your retirement, and some companies are okay. So it really depends.
Well, thank you, London. I appreciate that. Whenever Andre Hatchett would love us to have back on the channel, that's where we'll do it. Thank you for the $10 super chat. We appreciate it.
Shout out to Andre.
Leader. There we go. He started that whole leader. He started that saying that. Give him his credit. Community is the biggest feature about these courses. They offer a lot of opportunity. Awesome. Love it. So Teri, we will have you back on again another time. But overall, give us your thoughts on the economy. I know you are pro stay your butt in the house, but what are some things, some bright spots? And someone says they love your glasses, and I do too. I'm gonna steal them when I go over there. They said that, that people were asking, what are some of your takeaways from the economy this fall? I have some, but we're gonna talk about it another day.
Okay.
But you tell me.
I think that everybody should be aware that you have to separate your emotions about the economy and actual what the stock market is doing, because now they've started to separate. They're different. Even though unemployment is high, even though our debt is super high, even though many companies are not having revenue, the stock market has been soaring. So this is still a time, like, don't put your emotions and your personal thoughts and even the news that comes out on what the actual stock market is going to do. Just learn how to trade on technical analysis. That is super important, being able to trade based on what the chart says instead of your emotions. So that's like the biggest thing that I would leave you guys with. Like, learn how, like, take a course. I would love you to be in my trade and travel course, of course, but take some kind of course where you learn technical analysis so that you know when to get in and out of a stock based on a chart versus just what the news says.
Or your feelings.
Yes,
you're like,
or
oh
your
my
feelings.
Gosh. Because by the time you hear Jim Cramer say it, it ain't really, I'm gonna just say, don't do it.
He can't invest in, or he can't tell you about things that he personally just made in his own account. So even if he got into a stock, he can't say that one right then, because that's against the rules of his media contract. So if he tells you a stock, it's going to be a little bit before or after he's already made a decision on it. So that's one thing that you got to be aware of. That's why you need to know how to pick a stock for yourself and analyze it for yourself so that you can make better moves in real time.
Love it. Love it. Well, Miss Teri, I hope we get to see each other again. At some point in time, we need to go golf outside or play tennis. We need to be out in the fresh air with our mask on, apparently. So look, everybody, this is Erica Williams from the Classy Climb blog. Teri, tell people where they can find you. Where all the places they can find you on the internet.
You can find me on all channels at Trade and Travel. So YouTube Trade and Travel, Instagram Trade and Travel, Facebook Trade and Travel. And I'm also at I'm an Investor. So some of my people that have been with me for a while, like, what about I'm an Investor? So yep, on Instagram, I'm also at I'm an Investor, but we're starting to move everything over to Trade and Travel. So just check us out.
I love it, love it. So everybody, I want you to know, there you go. So look, Teri, thank you. Thank everybody who's here. This weekend will be the boat party. Next weekend we'll be in Houston, Texas, doing a 1-day Black Seed Summit seminar, or summit, however you want to say it. So Teri, I hope to see you sometime in between there.
Right.
In between there.
Wonderful. Shout out to Money Madu doing Black Seed. Shout out to you doing the boat party, and shout out to me being healthy. I love y'all.
No, that's not quite how we wanted that one to go. Not at all.
But really though, shout out to y'all. I love y'all so
much. Okay. So anyways, hey everybody, this is your girl Erica from the Classic Line Blog. See you guys later. Bye, Teri.
Bye. Thanks for having me.